Can you hear me, everyone? Yes? Oh, good.
Yes.
Paul, Tuesday afternoon. Thank you. Is anyone new to this meeting? Well, I know her. Sky's all right. Yes. Anyone else? No. Earth, wind, and fire. Sky. All right. Well, there's nothing new in non-duality. So basically, it's just an invitation, hopefully, not to be so concerned about becoming what you are, but seeing what you're not. Yeah, that's the emphasis. The emphasis is a little different than some ways we're directed, which is the assumption here is you are that which you're looking for without any new conditions or requirements met. And based on that, the next step would not to be continuing looking for what you are, but to seeing what you're not, or becoming aware of what you're not and those activities. Yeah, it's just obvious. So the assumption is being ourselves reality, being what is being sought. The seeker is the sought. What's looking is what you're looking for. These are similar cryptic statements, but they imply the same thing. You're it, so to speak. Yeah. Now, not as the you that's being thought about, but it. Yeah. So it behooves us, if we're interested in non-duality, to look at duality in a sense, and to really look at this. Isn't concentrating on it. It isn't vigilance. It isn't super focused. It's like a relaxed looking at what you're not. Don't worry. There'll be plenty of it coming up. Yeah. So you see, in the seeing of what you're not, instead of assuming it's you and then being guided and based on that projection, you're looking at it as not you, and then there's a relaxation comes over you. And, the pressure is off, and this demand or this feeling of being moved to a bigger, better thing is seen for what it may be, which is an addictive activity. Yeah. So that's actually reinforcing that which you'd like to escape from. Yeah. So this idea is there is no escape, because it implies, the message implies you are already that which you think you left. So what comes under questioning is this belief that you left. It's not a new way of, all right, we're going to get back. I've got a 2,500 year manual, and we're going to follow this manual, and we're going to get back to where we left. But we didn't leave. That's the point. Yeah. Now, of course, to the head, you sure have. Because the head says it has an idea of what you are. It has an idea of where you start from. It has an idea of who's going. Yeah. This is what comes under question finally. Yeah. Not by what you're not. What you're not questioning, what you're not is you should look better or something like that. This is seeing what you're not from what you are. Yeah. Yeah. It's an awareness of that you were not aware of. Yeah. Because this thing has been talking as you for quite a while. Yeah. And when it presents the idea of self, this long-lasting, independent, separate entity, this feeling, this sense, it says you already are one. Yeah. It uses time to that which it's trying to make up and present. It says it's already there. Yeah. It's amazing, really. It's an amazing move. Yeah. So if people had a choice, if there were people, let's say, and they, I'm going to stop becoming self, far out. Is it too late? Have I been died 98% of the property into self? No. The whole message is you're not that. Yes, you're not that. And then you'll find out relief, not for that, but from it. You'll find out you can enjoy peace of mind, not as that thing you think that's being thought about all day, but as what you are. Yeah. And, things become clear, not through any gargantuan effort, but because the obscuring gets dimmed down, the obscuring gets chilled out. So you can finally see, instead of looking from it or trying to look through it, yeah, you see through it. You see through it. You see it. You see its presentation, but it doesn't downsize your panoramic view. You don't get absorbed anymore. Yeah, you see it saying you're already absorbed, but you're not. Your lens or your aperture is open. Yeah, it's telling you it's at 35 and it's probably going to get worse unless you do a lot of these exercises. But basically, your aperture is wide open. Yeah, it's yapping as if it isn't, and that it's in control of the aperture. It ain't. Yeah. If you believe it, then it is. Just like false evidence has the ability to appear real to what's real. Yeah. It's the only thing that could see false evidence as real, which is reality. That's the only thing that could do it. Yeah. We're that. Yeah. So we have this statement in one of the acronyms in AA recovery is FEAR, false evidence appearing real. Yeah. So there's false evidence. That doesn't change. Yeah. False evidence, false evidence, false evidence. When does it appear real? There's got to be something included. The observing or the seeing of the false evidence is what allows it to appear real. The false evidence doesn't allow itself to appear real. It can't. It's false. Yeah. It appears real to us. Don't you see it? So we're the reality, and you're going, well, what illusion could fool reality? An illusion, reality is entertaining, basically. Yeah. And so this is it. Why it may entertain and go to great lengths to keep entertaining it is this act of being identified as it. If that can be seen through, there's a loss of interest in it. There's a loss of interest in selfing. You're not causing the loss of interest. And you're not actually gaining, you're not causing the loss of interest and you're not gaining the interest in it. It's mechanical. It's presenting conditions and court cases as if they've already been settled. Yeah. And this is the freedom from the bondage of self. Yeah. There's no freedom from self because there isn't one. There's freedom from the bondage of self, which is an activity. Yeah. We call it selfing. It just makes it easier. So you can recognize it. I mean, it has a lot of flavors, but basically, if you go to Baskin Robbins, the baseline is ice cream, and maybe you got 28 versions of it, but it's ice cream each version. Yeah. So basically, this head could have a lot of versions of selfing, but it's basically the same presentation. You're not going to become something you already are, and then from there, you'll try to become something. Yes? You'll try to become what you are from what you're not. It's the most beautiful, beautiful trick, because when you try to become what you are from what you're not, you're reinforcing what you're not. That's the dilemma. Eh? And you've got to be ready to stop. You have to hear the message for it to stop. If you try to stop as what you're not, it's just more of what you're not. So we just keep putting out the same invitation, and then one time the floor collapses, yeah? And you see the emperor with no clothes. Now it may regroup, yeah, and open up the closet and put on some more wardrobe, but you've seen something, yeah? Now it won't say that you have, it will say that it's the seer of it, but you saw something. There was an awareness of something. Have faith in that. So the understanding of non-duality and the understandings of non-duality, for where I'm sitting, are there to bring into contrast the misunderstandings. Yeah. The misunderstandings aren't replaced by a new understanding. The non-duality understanding negates the misunderstandings. Yes. And then basically you're resting not on an understanding, but on being, which is much firmer ground. Yeah. Much firmer ground. You are that. You are that which you would like to understand. You are that. Yeah. You are that which you want to know. You are that. Yeah. You can't experience it because you are that. You can't get it because you are that. You can't lose it because you are that. Yeah. The more you look for it, the seeming more blind you are to it. Yeah. Why? Why is that? Because the mental state uses the looking for it to blind yourself that you are it. Yeah. Because obviously, if you are something, let's say the keys are in my pocket, the looking for the keys stop. Yes. It's only when I'm under the assumption I can't find my keys is there a looking for the keys. I'm not under that assumption anymore. I do not believe I've lost whatever. I just don't. Yeah. So I'm not in the pursuit of trying to find it. Yeah. It's that simple. The assumption is somehow we've separated from something, and therefore there's going to take a lot of work and effort to re-engage or to re-merge with it. I don't believe that. I don't. I have no evidence that that's true. Yeah. So it's like the story when I was in Turkey and I was at the rug emporium. Yeah. The rug presentation was incredible. They were incredible. The apple juice and the Turkish coffee was great. They were impeccable. They swung those rugs and everything like that. But I was totally positive I had no house. I didn't have a domicile. I didn't live anywhere. So why would I want to have a rug? Yes? So it could have been the greatest advertisement in all time. And they could have said, you're going to get a lamp and you're going to get a coffee table. We're going to throw everything into this deal. But where am I going to put the coffee table? Not on a rug. I have no floor. Yeah. So I'm clear that I don't have a floor, and that gives me an immunity to thinking about buying a rug. Yeah. So when the rug commercials come, I can see the artistic value, but they don't produce an urge in me to want to buy a rug. Yeah. So the false evidence of the head stays false evidence. It doesn't start appearing to be real to me. Yeah. Hallelujah. This is it, Hopefully you've done enough, or you seemingly thought you've done enough. You've gone enough places. You've heard enough messages that finally something lands. Yeah. And you realize the seeker, it's not the seeker and the sought. The seeker is the sought. Yeah. When it's the seeker and the sought, there's going to be a whole lot of seeking of the sought. But if the seeker is the sought, that seeking is going to be kaput. You'll seek for other things, like things you can find, like coffee, some money, a date, whatever. Yeah. And you may be successful, you may not, but you got a better chance of finding that than finding what you are, because you haven't lost what you are. I don't care how much you believe you've lost it. It's not so. Yeah. But hey, does anyone ever go the easier, softer way? Usually not, So bang your head against the wall as much as you like. And then after something happens, you'll realize you can't get what you already are. Yeah. You never left, so you don't have to try to get back. Yeah. It's the whole thing of gone, gone, gone to the other shore. Upon arriving at the other shore on having never left. That's it. Yeah. So let's just cut out the gone, gone, gone and arriving at the other shore. Let's just stay in on having never left. It's just much cleaner. Yeah. You're going to arrive there sooner or later anyway. Why not just start on having never left? Save you a lot of travel. So, yeah. Mm. You'll be surprised how much it's about loss of interest. See, when you have you as a topic, you feel like you need a lot of interest to stay attuned to that topic. When you realize you are the topic, there's no need for interest much. Yeah. The interest is actually when the interest stops being directed by the mental state on all these mental little journeys. It's a sense of presence, really. That's what you're feeling. You're feeling undirected interest and attention. That's the sense of presence, really. Yeah. Undirected interest and attention is the sense of presence. All the dogs have come home. Yeah, they're not out there. They're not gone. Yeah, and then the faith in that provokes an ease and comfort in that which is agitated, the action figure. It's allowed to, it travels lighter. The faith in the action figure and in the head produces a lot of agitation, irritability, restlessness, and discontent. It's the same juice called faith. It's what it's put in. Yeah. If it's put into the finite self, you're a denizen of what's not happening. You're calling a lot of mental anxiety fear, and it isn't. It's mental anxiety. That same faith, if it's put in the infinite, it brings about an ease and comfort in your day, every day. Yeah. It's the same juice, it's just where it goes. Yeah. Being ourselves reality, where does it go then? Yeah. It gives you the eyes to see false evidence, not after they've appeared to be real thousands of times, before they appear to be real. Yeah. You enjoy peace of mind, not through like hyperventilating and tons of work. You're just available to it because you're here. And if you're here, if you're present and available, you're of service. Yeah. You're of service. So, yeah. If you have any questions, I don't know much about mackerel and tuna. This is cod, C-O-D. If you like to know about cod, I'll share it with you. Yeah, but I'm not yes. Yeah. So, anyone?
I think Kathy unmiked herself. I'm not sure if she had a question. I know she's on the phone, so it's hard for her to use her virtual hand. But then so Kathy, did you want to ask a question? Okay. So we have Bodhi up first.
Bodhi. I can't hear you, Bodhi. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it clicks. Okay, there. Got it? Yeah. I like very much your approach. I don't think the ego is an enemy. I think it can be domesticated in a way. And you say it feels gratefulness. You said that the other day. It's possible, I think, to feel that. anyways, that's a different angle from a lot of people, right?
I don't know. I don't listen to anyone.
But you did in the past, come on.
Don't listen to me either.
Then, I wanted to show you something because you did the action figure the other day, and I have mine.
Oh, wow. All right.
It was given to me by a friend. He said, "Don't be like me." He put a sticker there saying, "Don't be like me." So I peeled off the sticker. But see, he's got a keyboard as a mouse. You see that?
Oh, yeah.
That's cool, huh? Because I play keyboard.
Very good.
And then look at this. You're gonna laugh, man. Look at this. So it's flexible, right?
Good.
But look at this. You see what it is? Big, big breasts.
Oh, the boxer thing. Yeah, yeah.
Huge breasts. And also look at the hand. He can't do anything. He don't got no hands, man.
That's the frustration of a seeker.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
so, yeah.
So I keep it near me. I talk to it and shit. It's funny because I get to laugh. It's really. Anyways.
Oh, yeah. Where's the other action figure? I don't know where it is. Though.
Oh, yours is superb.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Well,
that's
someone painted that one.
Yeah, but mine came gratis.
Oh, yeah. That's good. That's
That's
good.
good.
Yeah.
Huh? Hey,
Yeah.
I have to let my dog in. Maybe I'll pop in again later. Okay.
Bodhi, nice to see you, though. Thank you.
Glad to be here.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh, I see a lot of people from a deja vu from this morning. We got Mickey. Don't give me a 20-page reading, Mickey, today. No. All right. Thank you. Anu.
David has his hand up.
Who? Oh, David.
David.
Oh, David B. All right, David.
Hi, Paul. How are you doing? How are you all doing? Good.
Good. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, cool. I figure just thought I'd ask. I guess it's more of an observation than anything. It's interesting. You talk about traveling lighter, and I can relate to that. But sometimes you go, well, what is traveling lighter? What would that look like? But I think we all know what traveling heavy looks like and feels like. And it's interesting that there seems to be this tendency from the action figure to think that like these understandings would almost in no time result in a change in one's life and relationship to life, such that the head would like to think that just something overnight instantaneously would change, and all of the function of the way that one relates to the world and relates to their psychology and relationships, would all overnight become all traveling lighter all of a sudden, instantly and easy.
See, but that's the head's idea of traveling.
Right.
We're
Yeah.
talking about traveling lighter from the head, not as the head envisions it.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see I think sometimes that's like one may have these understandings or these glimpses, and they may have penetrated thoroughly through many, places. But then the head still has all of it, its ideas, or there's a tendency for the head to project its ideas and say, almost to override the understanding with its projections, which I'm sure happens in a lot of different ways, right?
Well, the thing is, it doesn't have to change for you to be what you are.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't make any sense for it.
The way it sees it, it has to change a lot to be what you are, because it already states itself as something to begin with.
Yeah.
So in your act of becoming what you are, you're reinforcing what you're not. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And from what you're not, it seems impossible to get out of itself. The other way of looking at it is, are you in it? See, that's the difference. One is looking at, oh, you're in it completely 100% sure. Now, how are we going to get out of it? this is a novel approach. You're questioning, are you in it?
Mhm.
Because then there's no need for all these methods to get out. You're not in. Yeah, that's the beauty of the message, really.
Sure. And it's interesting to see that even on a logical, rational level, that makes 100% sense. Like being ourselves reality, we would always be having never left. You know what I mean? So even logically and rationally, it makes 100% sense. And then yet the head will come in and use its projections of like, well, you know, this isn't different and that's isn't different. It almost creates a problem out of these projections, like finds a problem, you know.
Of course, it tries to make something, yeah, because agitation begets agitation.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's what it does.
But yeah. And yet you've mentioned that, you know, you've mentioned the intimacy of seeing these things for yourself, and that is a process that does sort of occur or unfold in time, regardless of the timeless nature of what we are. Right. But,
Well, if you have a seat assignment like this one, then you're probably going to know a lot more than that's necessary,
uh,
because you're being put to use. Yeah. Yeah.
interesting.
I think it's so. If someone isn't being called to be put to use in this way, it's because it's all I don't know and a need to know basis. They may not have much understanding. They don't need it. They've understood enough, which is I'm not that. Yeah. So they don't. Yeah. But see here, uh, we're sharing. Yeah. And so what do we share? Hopefully there's a sense of energy, and then hopefully there can be an understanding, like a sort of one size fits all. You wear it, and hopefully then the seeing is presented with the misunderstandings it was looking from, so to speak. Yeah. And so now light is brought into the situation and things get revealed.
Mhm.
Now, if you have a seed assignment where you're sharing it, those things, when they get revealed, may be presented as another understanding. Yeah. Almost like a reverse engineering understanding. But I don't think it's necessary, but I think it's necessary if you have a certain seed assignment. Yeah.
Mhm. So
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I don't think about this shit. You know, it just comes, it's available, it gets access by being here, and then yeah, yeah. But
Sounds.
I don't have like a lot of people who know me, they have to remind me of the golden oldies, the pooper scooper and other things we've riffed on, because I have they're not like present tense files. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so people remind me, and then you can go there, and it's all about a contact, and it's an urge to contact, really.
Mm-hmm.
So I found, or whatever comes through, found provoking imagery is much more potent than a lot of words or whatever. Yes, even though we use a lot of words because we try to overwhelm the system that's trying to understand the message.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm not talking to David. I'm trying to talk through David to get to where he is, really. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the point. So sometimes if you give the head a time to regroup, like a long pause, the head regroups and now it's you as the hearer of the message again. You want to overwhelm the selfing so that things are seen when it's it's like adding another ball to the juggler. The juggler responds differently with 4 balls than 3. So it's very interesting what's revealed when you throw another ball in there. Yeah. That it's very good at throwing 1, 2, me getting this. But if you throw a few others, then you see its nature. Yeah. Yeah. So I remember I was speaking in LA, and it was cool. We were at an improvisational theater. And so they had a desk or table and people came in, and there was like this, you know, people sitting down. And after the talk, the guy, my friend who set up the talk, asked me, he says, a lot of people came up to me and says, I don't get anything this guy says. Everything he says is going over my head. And he asked me about it. I said, that's the target.
Right.
We're not trying to get it to David. We're trying to throw it over David. David is like the fence that thinks it's the neighbor. I'm trying to get to the neighbor, not the fence. The fence keeps trying to grab the message.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's what you want to point out. Because this activity can regroup after a huge epiphany or a peak experience or a moment of pure light, as they say. If you're still here in this event, it regroups and claims to be the one who had the pure light. It doesn't claim to be the pure light. It claims to be the one who had the pure light. Yeah. Yeah. This is what's more important, to have an understanding of that than why would you want to, you know, it's sort of like, I was at that bookstore, and then they had all these new books come in, and there was one called Consciousness. It was like, I looked at how many pages, 1,200 pages of consciousness. And what's going to buy that is what's conscious. Yeah. I mean, it's insane to me. Yeah. Why would I want to know what I am? I'd have to want to know what I am from what I'm not. Yeah. Yeah. So,
I mean,
yeah. To me, non-duality is pure, seamless logic. I see the insanity as the mental logic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, it's interesting that even seeing that and having that like fully kind of penetrated through the rationale, it still doesn't stop, as you said, the action figure or whatever from regrouping.
Of course it doesn't, because this has nothing to do with volition. There isn't a person there that can choose. The presentation of the person is mechanical.
Right.
This is what people have trouble with. They believe that if they wake up, everything's going to change. They've been awake the whole time. Everything's just been going the way it's going. They believe it's like a this is sort of like accepting. It's not like, wow, I'm going to change this dream completely. No, what occurs when you see your role here is acceptance, really. Yeah. Yeah. There's an acceptance of what's happening. Not, okay, it's time to revise this, mother, and everything. No, there's an acceptance of how things are, how they're being perceived, this and that and this, because you're not that. The pressure is off. Yeah. So, but it is mechanical. See, selfing isn't something that you have done or are doing. What selfing does is implies there's a you that was doing it and is being done to by it. That's what it does. It already states, it assumes a fact that isn't a fact, and then it talks from there. That's why its logic is insane. In its logic, if you're in there, it makes sense. But if you see it from outside, it's completely insane. Yeah, and if you want to have a glimpse of that, read some of the Course in Miracles. They'll speak of it very clearly, how insane it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I've never looked in the Course, but I've gotten curious.
You don't have to, because you have it right here. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I appreciate you sharing that with us too.
Yeah. You know, who wouldn't want to be a great Paul or a great Dave? Yeah. And be able to fly through everything and also be noticed while I was flying through everything. Right. And you know, this is of course, but that's a dream within the dream of the dream of the dreaming, you know? Yeah.
And yet when traveling lighter, that's really what the action figure, I think, would want, but it wants it in a particular way that's totally like, I don't know, I don't know if that makes sense, but
It may
it-
want it, but it will begrudgingly get into the traveling lighter. It will.
begrudgingly. Yeah.
Yes. It's other words, when I was doing these shares, the action figure was listening too, and it would keep hearing there's nothing to get, but it believed there's something to get. And I'm gonna get it because it's coming through me. And
Sure.
then after about 8 or 9 years ago, that was obviously not the case. Then the excitement of the action figure to go to talks was very, very much changed. Because it never gets anything from it. That's awesome. So yeah.
Well, I've had, when I was younger, I was really into lucid dreaming, right? When I was like a 16-year-old. I had like a sleep disorder when I was 11, and that got me into dreaming. So I got really deeply into lucid dreaming. And it's kind of interesting because, you get to play with the whole thing of flying at will and having everyone see you fly and,
Yeah.
walking on water or transforming the world, whatever. I mean, it kind of becomes your playground, but then certain cultures have used it as a tool then to then look at what is it all anyways, rather than just using it as a fun toy,
Well, now you can get those goggles, virtual reality.
Yeah, our son has them.
You can get your enlightenment at Walmart. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there'll be virtual temples soon. We can all be sitting in the
Oh, for
Zen
sure.
and
You're going to be the greatest meditator in the world at episode 3 of the David B program. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Living next door to Snoop Dogg in the metaverse.
You're just going to be, you're going to be golfing buddies with Buddha and Jesus. Yes, there you go.
That's funny.
Fantastic. Yeah. I don't know, man. I was keenly interested in escaping my whole life since I've been young.
Sure.
And that door just closed completely. I don't know exactly when, but it's been closed completely. There's a book in Buddhism called The Wisdom of No Escape. Well, there's no escape from an imaginary place. There really isn't. Yeah, so So this has been the easier, softer way for the action figure. Yes. Yeah. See, when I say I'm that which I'm looking for, I'm not implying Paul, the action figure, obviously.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
That animating force. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Dave. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Paul. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Angie has her hand up.
Angie.
Hello. So this,
Yeah,
this
thank you for your donation. I just Mike Z gave it to me finally.
my pleasure.
That's it.
So it's actually embarrassing to ask this because of what you just said before, but from from the perspective of the action figure and trying to get to that level of understanding where you are, and I know that place is like where I am as well, but I just don't see it that way. But I guess my action figure is looking for some kind of prescription, like what to do. And one of the things that is useful is, for instance, listening to the message over and over. So, coming to satsangs like this and maybe relax more, having that sort of relaxed awareness, and maybe even investigate your personal experience and see how the message applies to that, and how seeing your personal experience through those lenses help you travel lighter and all that. Like, are there any other prescriptions?
Like a prescription is there. You already have a prescription. You just stated it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't prescribe anything. All we do is invite and then see where it takes you. Yeah. But
Yeah.
we will show up, except for the next 2 Tuesdays we'll be away. I'll tell you about it later. But we show up as best we can to I have a lot of faith in the power of satsang. I do. And I feel if you looked at all of these squares, you've probably done way more than enough in your life. Yes? Yeah. You've probably done way, way, way more than enough. So this is another way. This is more about just putting down the goal and seeing what happens. It's not a subtle way of getting the real goal. It's really just putting it down and or admitting it's impossible and see that you're not that which is it's impossible to put down. Yeah. There's a way of putting down that which is thinking it can't put down. Yeah. You
Mm.
can do that. Yeah. Because you're before it. You can see that which is thinking it has the choice of holding on or putting down. You can see that, and not being that doesn't demand any choice or effort or anything. Yeah, it's just there's so much that's super obvious at that point. It explains itself. Yes, yes, it
Yeah.
explains itself. So I'm a believer in satsang now. Would I prescribe, oh, for you, 14 hours like a soup Nazi or 8 hours? No, I don't think, whatever you're going to do, if you do too much, you'll see that doesn't work. If you do too little, you may be up the ass of self, so to speak. So you just find what works. Yeah.
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 And also another interesting thing is that in Hindu tradition, they have different stages of life. When you're a child, you play, and then you have a family, and you work, and then you retire. And it's usually during that phase, retirement, where people are encouraged to kind of seek spiritually.
Well, you know what? I skipped the middle two there. I just played and then retired. It was no family or work, really. So I skipped the bologna in the sandwich was removed. All I got was the bread.
Yeah,
Played,
but I
played, retired.
always wonder, like, why leave that for the end, something that could help you live better.
Yeah, well, that's also it's ingrained in that society, and it's a way of giving you a sense of your purpose and yeah, and say, hey, at the end there's going to be a nice retirement, so give it a good shot now. Yeah, I think most of these are like societal mechanisms, really.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't care about that. I just I did what I did. I ended up hearing this message through satsang. And at that point, hearing the message didn't demand much effort or thought. Yeah. Maybe I decided to go see Ramesh Balsekar because I liked one of the book I read from him, and then go see Ramana Maharshi because I was interested to see that. Yeah. And maybe I read a total of 5 books, scanned through some of the teachings of Ramana, Old Huang Po, and I heard satsang. And in satsang, things became much clearer just by sitting in it. Yeah. So I have a great faith in satsang. Yeah. There's a power here, and that power can move things. Yeah. Yeah. So it became clear. Things happened, and I went to satsang, and I saw that I didn't feel there was. I felt there could be more emphasis on the mental activity of selfing, because people were having great experiences, but then there was a claiming of the experiencer, and then it sort of got waylaid, and they had no idea what was going on. Well, it's a common occurrence when a message is heard with a power of non-duality, that the system is going to react, yeah, and it's going to claim to be the hearer of the message in a way of neutering the message, yeah, because this message is about there is no hearer, yeah. Yet what will happen is the mental state will say you're the hearer of the message that there is no hearer, yeah. That's its mechanical presentation. When you start seeing through that, then the possibility that seemed fleeting, like it resonated when I was at that talk, but then the next day it's gone, doesn't behave like that anymore. It gains some weight, yeah? Yeah, it's got some heaviness in you. It's like solid, yeah? Yeah, not because the message wasn't clear to begin with, it was the mental claiming of being the one who heard the message or didn't follow the message or followed it too much, yeah? That sense of ownership or nounness is really the obscuring agent. No matter what condition you think it would be the least obscuring or the most obscuring, it's the act of obscuring the identification as self. It is, yeah? So you can try to make it better, you can polish it, you can do this or do that, and usually it ends up, you realize the futility of that. You can go the other way, you'll realize the futility of that, yeah? And then you're left with that's that. And then non-duality opens like a beautiful flower, and an understanding, a view sort of triggers vision, yeah? Or the vision sees through the view, yeah? The awareness sees through the view, and it's now solid. You have a solidity to it. Yes? That's the basis of traveling lighter. Yeah. And I'm a believer that which already is can occur simply through satsang, because that which already is. That's why. Yeah. I don't think you've got to move 800 pounds of granite and then drill 800 feet into the ground to find the jewel. You are the jewel. That's my sense, yeah? And all the interest in finding the jewel or losing the jewel or arriving here or leaving there is the obscuring activity. Yeah, you're it now. Like it or not, really. It doesn't matter if your head believes it's awake or not. You're awake. It's just a fact, yeah? As Ramana said, that which is realized is always realized. It's a present tense condition. Yeah. Yeah. And when that starts dying, DYE, the clothing, the action figure's behavior is going to change. It is. Because it won't be the driving force to look for what can't be found. It will be looking for what can be found, yeah? Like a pumpkin pie or something like that, yeah? This is why we share. We share because I wasn't hearing it at the satsangs I went to. I heard all about describing the indescribable, and I knew something was off. I knew it. And then when I heard a guy speak and said, hey, I'm like a man standing by the river selling water. And he said, it's even funnier that I'm a man standing in the river selling water. I got it. I realized the futility of trying to get what I already am. I got it. Yeah, it fell. The thing fell. And there was a strong enough pause that things moved. Yeah, something moved. That, the chairs on the Titanic deck were moved. Yeah. Yeah. And more, those things occurred. Yeah. I'd be hearing satsang, and then I just knew I was never going to ask another question. And I never did. Yeah. Just things happened. I hit points, and there was a collapse of an imaginary house of cards. Yeah. It was almost fun after a while. Yeah. Yeah. So it's okay not to reach the goal. It's okay. Yeah. It's okay not to want to do anything. It's okay. Yeah. This whole place, we're like a dog, trying to get permission and get a treat. Yeah. And something's playing God with us. And it's not God in a way. It's like the mental state. I'm just done with that. So I just chill out, and life has provided me a real good chance to chill out. Yeah. I don't have much on the agenda, and so I don't act like I do. Yeah. I just act like I don't have much on the agenda. It seems appropriate. Yeah. I believe really, you mentioned relaxed awareness. I believe the innate panoramic view. Yeah. And I don't think it gets arrived at by focusing and concentration. I don't. That's humbly my take on it. Yeah. Someone else, it may work that way. Anything can go here. Yeah. Mind is dreaming, big M mind. If it wants to wake up in Walmart by getting hit with a toaster in the appliance section, it'll do that. Now everyone hears that and they try to go to Walmart and go to aisle 3 and have a friend knock the toaster, the right brand, Sunbeam, near the same time. So now you could reproduce the experience of awakening. It wasn't the awakening made the experience. The experience didn't trigger the awakening. The awakening made the experience. Yes? That's the horse in front of the cart. You getting hit with a toaster in Walmart did not do anything. Something was already so, and then it played itself out that way. Yeah? It would play itself out by getting deeply absorbed in scriptures or reading a telephone book. Yeah? Seriously, mind is everything. It can do whatever it wants to do. We're thinking, you see somebody you have a lot of respect for, a spiritual giant, let's say, and they act pretty strangely. So then you think, all right, I'm going to act like them so I can arrive at where they are. But they didn't arrive there by those actions. Those actions are expressing where they are. They're not how they got to where they are, because they didn't go anywhere to get there. Yeah. So now they can express it crazily, nicely, with reverence, being a fucking asshole, arrogant, whatever. It can go any way it wants. Yeah. We're looking at it as an expression, as a path. It's not. It's an expression. Yeah. Yeah. Some people are moved to sing. Some people are moved to lay down. Some people are moved this way, moved that way. It can have it any way it wants. Yeah. We're just putting it out there because I haven't been to a satsang since 2000, let's say. But the last one I was at, I had been to like maybe 20 of them or so, different people. And I didn't hear this emphasized, this mental activity of claiming what's going on as being the one it's going on to. And I found in my own experience, that was the most important point. And then it got reinforced by reading Ramana, because he says it as the problem, the greatest mystery, because a lot of different people wrote about his teachings, and yet he pronounces this with great importance. There's a presupposing of a non-existent thing that wants to get salvation for the non-existent thing. If that's the case, your spiritual practices are reinforcing the non-existent thing. How can they destroy it? He put a great emphasis on that. And that was my experience. I saw it didn't matter. You're already awake. What's causing it not to seem to be so? It's a mental activity. Tell the truth about it. Yeah. And the mental activity will continue, yet it won't take away the sense of awakeness from you. Yes. You'll be awake to that, like you're awake to a lot of other things. Yeah. But this bullshit tells you you're not awake. Yeah. And you're going to use it as the vehicle to get awake. Yeah. which is impossible because you are awake. You see it? That's the direction. Every Tuesday, that's the direction. For 20-something years or more, that's been the direction. When I hit that, whatever is talking to me told me that's that. Stay on this point. Yeah. And if I want you to change, I'll let you know. I haven't heard anything in 20-something years, 30 years. Yes? Because your belief that a peak experience is going to knock out this mechanical activity, you're wrong. You know, it could if mind wants to, but it as a reality, it doesn't mean anything. An epiphany can be claimed just as much as, you know, having a resentment towards another person. The head just claims whatever it gets brought into contact through us, it claims and puts a story on it, which is Paul is before everything. Yeah. So we're listening to an interpretation, and a lot of us are living the interpretation. Some of us hear the interpretation, but are not living by the interpretation. To me, that's the traveling lighter, really. Yeah. The interpretation is going to be broadcast. It is. As long as you're taking breath and this is alive and your brain is working, there's going to be a presentation of how the brain sees this event. It's not the only way to see it. Yeah. Yeah. Now the brain says nothing else could possibly be happening. This is the only thing. But from what you are allows a lot of shit to appear. It does. Because it's not threatened by any of it. Yeah. I don't think the sky runs away when a cloud shows up. Yes. The sky is the space for the cloud to appear in.
Speaking of sky, she's had her hand up for a while, and we're almost out of time.
You need an exercise.
Yeah.
Put up the left, put up the right, put up the left, put up the right. Yeah.
No, it's good. It's good. I just like what you were saying, like not really like focusing on listening, like, or to like receive something. Just I received this huge like message in like big letters, like before you tried to break something that wasn't broken. And just like everything you've said this whole time, it's like fit that. I just wanted to see if you could riff on that a little bit, like if that fits what you're saying.
Yes, it does. The thing isn't about breaking or not breaking, it's the assumption it's broken. Yeah. That's where you look at. You don't look at what method I need to use to break it or this or that. Yes. You question the assumption because we're mostly made up of assumptions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And there's a reliance on those assumptions. A lot of behaviors are based on them. So my girlfriend and I do it quite a lot. Not as much anymore. We assume a store is open that's actually closed. Instead of taking the time to call it, we just drive there. We get in there. Surprise, surprise. There's closed, but right on the thing it says closed on Tuesdays.
Yeah, that's happened.
So this isn't a random, very, very unique event. We're living on like thin ice, assuming it's, yes, and we're skating around, da 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 da, not understanding much. And usually the only way our attention gets brought to it is by a Zen bitch slap or something, or some calamity, so that you can fucking maybe take a breather and stop and see.
Yeah, literally. I almost riled myself far down into this rabbit hole, like until like I heard what you said today. And then I just found those words, like, I'm not going to go through with this. I don't want to break something that isn't broken. And like, I don't know. It's because I was like listening in the satsang and it just, I realized what you're saying.
Yeah.
And then the paw prints were everywhere, like in every situation, like you said earlier. like just the scattered marks of that same thing.
Well, that's communication, honey, and it seems to have been successful. So there you go. Seriously, that's what it is. We're communicating not in like 2s and 4s and words and language. There's another communication happening. And this communication, it's a communication we already know. Yeah. So that's it.
Yep, that's what it was. And every time you say that, I'm like, no, I need to be focusing. I can't just not take notes, etc. But then like that's when it like hit, is when I just wasn't,
Yes, the notes are going to be valuable, not what you think, because they'll lead you to realizing you don't need to take notes. So taking notes are used to realize you don't need to take notes.
Exactly. And same with the something that isn't broken. Like once you go all the way in and you break it, then you realize it wasn't broken. Like I needed to almost go all the way through with this thing. And then I realized, oh, wait, this is not for me. This is extra. I'm good where I am, Sometimes it takes going all the way, but I guess the more that the message comes, then you don't even go in assuming it's broken and try to fix it. You're just stay out of it. You're like, let that thought go. I can't be bothered.
Well, yeah, it's more of an acceptance. It's not a call to arms. It's a disarming.
Yeah, a disarming.
Yeah. And what's wrong with broken anyway? Some of the greatest things have been broken. So, yeah. Yeah. So, yep. Thank you. Nice to see you.
You too.
Anyone
Paul,
else?
if you're ready to say goodbye.
Am I ready to say goodbye? Yes. Let's see. Let's go to you, my dear. Very well. Nice job running the show. Yes. Herding all these cats. Very good. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. There's Connie. Connie's nice and relaxed. There she is. Don't get up for me, Connie. Just chill out. Yeah. We got George. I'm always happy to see George. Thank you, George, for attending these little events. And there's Inca. Yes, there she is. Nice to see you, Inca. PK from Long Island. Yes. Yes. Oh, here's Ellen or Eileen. It's Eileen. Thank you, Eileen. Yeah, we had that nice share the last time. Thanks to see you. Nice to see you. Anu. There she is. Anu. Yeah. David B. He's not in jail, not in the hospital. Things are looking up. Okay. Bodhi. Bodhi, thank you. And he's got his little action figure. All right, Bodhi. I'm gonna have to send my action figure and give yours a terrible beating. You don't even have hands. So, all right. Mickey. Nice to see you, Mickey. Yep. Yeah, nice to see you. Angie, thank you so much. Yeah, you're, yes, very nice. Let's see. We've got Carol L. Nice to meet you, Carol. Kerry, I'm going to be seeing live, not too long. And remember, I won't be at the next 2 Tuesdays. Yeah, the 8th and the 15th, I'll be away. I don't think I can do it in Hawaii, the middle of the day. So I'll be swimming or something, something meaningless like that. All right, so we got Jacqueline. Nice to see you, honey. Love the wood there. We got Andy W. There he is. It's like he's getting ready for an interview. He's taking a breather. Yeah, he's waiting for the guest. They're always late, I understand, yes. We got Anne. Anne, nice to see you. Anne Blant, B. We got Rhoda. Rhoda is my constant reminder that I have something to do on Tuesday afternoon. Very good. Thank you. We got Kathy. Is that Kathy? Let me see. Oh, yeah. Nice to see you. We got Dawn O. Nice to see you, Dawn. We got Glenda. There she is. Glenda. Glenda, I'm very happy to see you. Yeah, just stick with it. Yeah. 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 The elevator wants to take your father, maybe. Yeah. Don't hit the button. Don't hit the button yet. Yeah. You'll know which floor to get off of. Yeah. Yeah. We got William L. There he is. Nice to see you, William. Or it is a picture. Oh, there he is. Someone else just showed up. We got Bozina. AT radio computer. Well, let's see. Oh, we got Sue K. We got some other numbers. Wow. Laura, NASA. If I'm screwing up your name, sorry. Very small here. And yeah, thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah, I'll see you. So I won't be here the 8th or the 15th. Okay, so just yeah, thank you. I'll see you after that, the 22nd, I guess. Yeah. And if we decide to do something, it'll be on the website. I'll talk to Rhoda and if I can pull it off. Yeah. So just keep a look and see if there's any announcement if you're interested. Yeah, it definitely won't be this Tuesday because we'll be on the plane then, but the next one maybe. All right. Yeah, I'll see you.